Guys, happy day 4. This week is going by so fast. We are more than halfway through our 5-day free workshop in order to build our wellness schedule. And I have just been really loving all of the comments inside of the free community. If you're just joining us, you may have realized that there is several days preceding this. And so if you have not yet jumped on to days 1, days 2, and days 3, I encourage you highly to go back and watch those videos. If you are not already a member of our free community, comment below and I will share the link for you to register and sign up to be a part of that. It's open to anyone and everyone who has the objective to lead a healthier lifestyle. My name is Meggin Anderson, and I have been a health and wellness professional now for over a decade. Not only do I coach my clients through their programs and products and help them to achieve healthier results, weight loss, muscle gains, all of those kinds of things, but I also help mentor women who want to also create their own online business in the same arena that I have. So, love the fact that I get to work with so many empowering women, ambitious women, career oriented, driven women, but just women that are there that want something more, right? Yesterday we talked about, you're here because you have a desire to change. You're here because you wanted something to be different. You're frustrated or you're stuck or you're just looking for a process that you can implement so that it doesn't monopolize your whole day. Like I talked about my story and how I just wanted to simplify things. I was just looking for something that was going to save me time from home. And I fell into this whole solution that was simple. I just had to go in, do the thing, check the box, and leave. And it wasn't hours out of my day. It was there to better my life, right? I stopped thinking about all the things that I had to give up in order to reach the level of success that I wanted in my health and my fitness journey. And I turned around and saw all of these things that I gained in the process. So super excited, you guys. So today is day 4, right? So we talked about, just to kind of recap the week a little bit, we talked about starting the day in day 1 with a morning routine, right? How important that morning routine is to start your day off on the right foot. I gave you guys some tips and I gave you guys some examples of things that I do, meditation, prayer. I gave you some examples of resources to go and look at, including the Growth Day app and the 5 a.m. Club book and the Miracle Morning book. That is great, by the way. That was where I started when I was trying to seek out a morning routine and figure things out on my own. I had heard that the most successful women in my industry were starting their day off on the right foot. What does that look like? I thought, what does that entail? What does that include? And literally that book, The Miracle Morning, starts you off with the exact steps that you need every single day in order to build that morning routine. So we started about talking about the morning and how important setting the start of your morning is, right? And then we talked about mastering movement. And we talked about the importance of exercise and what that does to your day and how that can improve energy levels and, get you also started on that right foot and what that looks like. And you could start with like a 5 or 10-minute workout. I uploaded sample workouts into the files section this week. So you should have had a chance to look some of those over there. They're actually categorized by ability. And I think for the most part, they're about 30 minutes each. So lots of things to choose from in there. And then yesterday we talked about nutrition, which is my favorite. I don't think a lot of people realize how important the nutritional aspect is to the whole equation. I talked about how 80% of the equation is nutrition and only 20% is exercise. And that's not to say that the exercise part isn't important, but that to just show you how important the nutrition part of the puzzle is, whether you're looking to gain muscle, lose weight, or change your body structure structure and what have you, right? That your nutrition will do that. I don't think I shared this example, but one of the biggest aha eye-opening moments for me in that regard was when I decided to do a couple of amateur bikini competitions. So I saw firsthand in my own experience what all of the different macronutrients and micronutrients did to shape my body to get me ready for the stage. I definitely did some work in the gym. My second experience with that was way different than my first one. But again, like the coolest science experiment to see when you changed ratios of fats and carbohydrates, added and took away, like what that did to your body structure. It was pretty cool. Not to mention the stuff that you couldn't see, besides the physical part of that aspect. I was stronger in the gym when I ate more food, all of the foods, balanced foods. It was just a really cool experience to go through. So we talked about that. I had you guys track and write down and journal all that you were eating yesterday so that we could review that stuff together, kind of give you that awareness, right? There's no wrong or right way to go about a health and wellness journey, guys. Okay. The thing about it that is going to be the best and that's going to work for you sustainably is going to be what works best for you, right? What you can stay consistent with, right? So it's not what I'm doing, what she's doing, right? It's finding your rhythm, finding that, uh, you know, the perfect formula for that works for you, right? But with the tools that I shared, I give you some guidelines and ways to start. We always talk about having just a simple process to plug into and see results, kind of plug and play and move on, right? And so we talked about that yesterday. So today we're talking about unplugging and why this is so important. And, this kind of also plays in the same mindset as like making sure you're getting enough sleep and rest, right? Some of these things obviously all tie into one another and work off of one another. So I might reference, sleep habits and things like that. And actually we'll talk about your nighttime routine tomorrow. But one of the big things that I noticed when I first started my business is how quickly it was, how easily it was to burn out from being on social media, from being on screens, from doing all those things. And, it was one of those things that kind of snuck up on you. And I remember thinking like my business is an online fitness and health business. How can I not be on social media? But what I didn't realize, and this actually goes into a lot of what I've talked about, if you have been a part of any of my Healthy CEO episodes, we talk about what that means to be a healthy CEO and setting boundaries for yourself, right? So setting boundaries for your personal activities, your business activities, your social media activities, and your screens. And it's really not about like I always talk about, you can have all the things. You can essentially have all the things. You just have to really be efficient and prioritize the things in the right order that you need to. And what I might do too is in the coming weeks, come in and do a time blocking exercise for you guys inside of our community. That's always really fun to see. But when we talk about, being able to unplug and what that looks like, it's really as a moment of, like we're setting timers like to drink water and we're setting timers to go to bed on time. This is just another way to implement some of those notifications and alarms, right? We set a set time every single day to unplug, to disconnect from electronics. I shared this morning that, typically my routine is I have the do not disturb set on my phone, and that will turn itself on about 9 o'clock at night and then go off about 8 a.m. in the morning. So I am not on my phone or social media during that time. I actually try to end my work schedule much earlier in the day. And then definitely sometimes there's some catch up moments or we have team calls and things like that I'll hop onto, but that's not every single night. I do try to, like last night I sat and watching episodes with Grimm with my youngest. So that was fun to just, turn things off and unplug. And I used to really think that I was going to be missing something. I would miss the sale. I would miss the customer that needed me. And it really didn't dawn on me big time until COVID hit a couple of years ago. And I literally could not like focus eyeballs wise on screens. I was getting like dizzy and having trouble for like a couple days. And so I was literally off of all electronics and everything for several days in a row. And my business did not fall apart. It was like it didn't even skip a beat. And I was like, okay, there's something to be said there, right? I think I need to take some more time for me. And so having that, mindset that we talked about earlier in the week is huge too, right? That disconnecting doesn't mean that you're missing out or that you're giving something up, right? I think it's just more important to make sure that you have this disconnection for your sanity, for your mental wellness. I think I heard from Brendan Burchard earlier in the week on the Growth Day app. He's got his 3-2-1 rule. So 3 hours before bed, no food. So your food can digest. You should definitely follow that one. Anyways, you should really think about digesting your food. No food 3 hours before bed, and then 2 hours was social media. 2 hours before bed, and 1 hour was screens before bed. 1 hour disconnect all screens. And there's actually a really awesome wind down, and we could talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, but there's some nighttime stretching that you can incorporate that's on our wellness platform. That's really awesome to just sort of like set up a whole routine. Like we talk a lot, and you see on social media a lot of emphasis on a morning routine, but we don't really talk enough about an unplug de-stress process, right? It's amazing to be able to start your day without social media, with all those things, and start the day that way. But what about when we go to bed at night? Like when we go to bed at night and we're sleeping, the last thing that we're doing is what's going to be in your head, right? So that's super important. So make sure that you at least try to see if you can look at implementing that 3-2-1 rule, or at least work towards that. Your scheduling tip will come out. Your tip will come out for the day, and so a good thing to do is reach out to a family or a friend and let them know about this digital detox. Right, manage those expectations. So this could also be somebody, an accountability partner within our group or our community that you check in with. Are you doing these things, right? And I guarantee you that you are going to feel changes in your mood, in your productivity, and your overall well-being when you are able to unplug from social media and digital scrolling the internet or reading the news. What are all the things that are on there in the palm of our hands, right? Technology is so great because there's so many things that we can do, but it also can be detrimental to our health too. So we have to be paying attention to that so that we can make all the things work in the right order and correctly, right? Okay, so tomorrow we are going to be talking about self-care in the evening. Okay, you will be made it to the end of the 5 days, and we are going to talk about an evening routine and what that looks like. So I'm pretty excited about that because by the end of tomorrow, you will have all the things that you need in place in order to customize and create your own wellness schedule and what that looks like for you and your life and your family and your workday, and be able to share that, right? And then we talked about not being perfect and tweaking that along the way. What does that look like for you? Maybe not every day is different, right? Maybe there are some days when you're working and some days when you're not, or maybe you're a shift worker, or maybe you have a lot of little kids, or maybe you have big kids, or you're the PTO mom, or whatever, right? But wherever your life sits and whatever it is that you've got going on, you can tweak and customize it, and we can help you too. You can always message me if you feel like you're stuck or you need some help working through it, or how to implement exercise, or what that should look like for you, right? And you can always reach out into our community and see what everybody else is doing. And we should be comparing notes on what we're doing and what that looks like here for us as we go into the end of the month. And what was the last thing I was going to say? I totally lost my train of thought. Okay. I can't remember. Oh my gosh. I was thinking about Oh, did I say it's not going to be perfect? It's not. It's trial and error. I think that that's a big one to just keep reiterating, you guys, because I change my schedule a lot. I change what I'm doing a lot. I sit down. My planner's not even here. I sit down daily and look through, but I also sit down on a regular weekend day and walk through my next week too and plan that stuff out. But it changes things. Things are changing all the time, and that's okay. So you have like an overall plan of attack, right? But then you have like a plan B or a contingency plan, and just know that's going to be okay. We talked about how important failure is because that's what we're going to learn from, and that's how we're going to end up getting better every single day and making progress in all of these areas. Okay. Okay, so don't forget that the enrollment is now open for my 30-day challenge, Burn It to Earn It bootcamp. Okay, so I'm going to be actually putting out my newsletter this afternoon with a little bit more detail in there. But the button at the top of your app allows you to fill out the form so I can learn a little bit more about you and we could talk about the challenge and what that entails. Um, we are going to be doing a program that is going to emphasize building muscle, burning fat. We are going to be prioritizing protein, will be our focus for the month of November. So we're going to be talking about what supplements are going to work best for that and the supplements that I recommend to pair those workouts with. We're also going to be talking about our nutrition path and what that looks like. I will be following the portion control containers all month. I've just always saw really awesome results with that. It just is easy for me. And in my head, I can say, oh, I got a green one left, I got a blue one left, and my day is complete. So that's something that really works well for me. Maybe the to be mindset is something that would be a better fit for you. That is more about mindful eating, building your plate. There are less, I feel like the answer between the two is not like one is more limited than the other. It at the end of the day, you're going to end up with the same result as far as the food you're eating. I think it's just how you approach it, right? And how you view it, right? So like some people look at the containers and they think, "Oh my gosh, I could never do that," whatever their perception is. And then some people look at it like it's like restrictive or whatever, even though it's not. It's probably more food than you could ever imagine. And same thing with the to be mindset. There are both have e-courses to follow along guidance, and I will walk you through either of those as well. So we will talk about that when we get a little bit further along. But your first step is to apply. Click the button at the top of the page and apply. Fill out the form so that we can talk about next steps and getting you matched with the right program. There's like a beginner workout and an intermediate workout and then an advanced workout, depending on where you follow. A lot of my clients from last month are going to be going into the advanced version because they're ready for the next step. And I've got some people that are coming in new that want to get started. So they'll start at the beginner step. So we will talk about that as well. The 30-day group will open this weekend so that I can get prep calendars in there and we can talk about prep week together. It's just basically getting organized that first week, trying a couple of sample workouts out, and then we'll all start our day one together on November 6th. Okay. So don't forget to click that button at the top of the page if you want to be involved. As always, you guys, if you have any questions, make sure you come back, ask those to me, for me, ask me anything that you have clarification on. And the other thing about being a part of this community, guys, is that chances are somebody else also has the same question, right? So we could start a nice dialogue inside the community. You can get help, you can get all your questions answered all in one spot there. So that's it for today, guys. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Watch out for our PM scheduling tip for this afternoon. And then I will see you back here tomorrow. I got to double check the time just because we have some other things going on. So I will give you guys a heads up inside the community what time I'm going to be coming live. And you can always catch these recordings as well. So thanks so much for being a part of the community and being a founding member with us this month. I'm super excited for the rest of this year inside of our community and what's to come for 2024. So stay tuned. I hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I'll talk to you later.